Today is September 20th, 2021. The time is 6:15. There are two items on the agenda. We'll start with order number 21-18365. It's the appointment of Linda Warren to the Council of Aging for a 3-year term from the date of council confirmation. So Linda, if we can have you come on up. We'll have you sit right inside. I think it's easier to come around this way.
I'll go around that way.
If you want to just sit at the head of the table, that would be great. The first one facing out, the top of the table. Thank you.
So everybody can see me.
You got it.
Okay. Great.
Perfect. How are you today?
I'm wonderful, thank you.
Excellent. Thank you for coming in today. So like I said, just informal, so we'll just ask you how you are doing and why the Council of Aging and a little bit about yourself. So if you want to go ahead and start with that would be great, and then we'll open up for questions.
A little bit about me. I am not a true Marlboroughite because I wasn't born here, but I have been here for 45 years, from Waltham originally. And so my kids have grown up here, gone to Marlborough schools, et cetera. And I had a wonderful, lengthy career and had many involvements during my career with large and small boards and dealing with political issues in large organizations, et cetera. So I've had some good experience, and I have, over the past number of years, been involved in the SHINE program and was the SHINE counselor at Marlborough for probably 3 years, I would say, and 2 years in Northborough before that and 2 years in Hudson before that. So I have experience with not only SHINE, but with senior centers and kind of how they run and the different kinds of activities and things that they do. So I feel pretty qualified. I also qualify as a senior. So there's some life experience there as well.
Excellent, thank you.
Yeah.
We'll open it up to questions from the Personnel Committee. Councilor Doucette.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Thank you, Linda, for volunteering for this. I think you're well qualified for this, but could you explain what the SHINE organization is, what a SHINE counselor does? Yeah,
the SHINE counselor is a fascinating program, actually. It stands for Serving the Health Insurance Needs of Everyone. It started out being serving the health insurance needs of the elderly. And of course, they changed that, but it's a program whereby we go through fairly extensive training about Medicare primarily, but certainly some issues around Medicaid and Mass Health. So, and then we are sent out to wherever the senior center has a need. It's not a program you do out of your home or on your own. You're always linked to a senior center. So it's counseling people who are new to Medicare, counseling people who are having problems or issues with billing or applications for Mass Health, et cetera. Really great. My background was for many years as a diabetes educator, so the concept of patient or person education is near and dear to my heart. So I love doing the SHINE program.
Thank you.
Excellent. We will open it up to any other councilors.
I just want to mention, Mr. Chairman, you were great help to the chamber over the years.
Yeah.
Here. And did we pay you for anything?
Say again?
Did we pay you for any, all your,
You did pay me for a little bit at the end.
$1 a day or something?
Yeah, I went from being a volunteer at the chamber for a number of years, and then I did some part-time membership sales.
Yeah, but you were a real asset. Really.
So, well, thank you. That's very nice to hear.
Anyone else? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
I'll second that, Mr. Chairman, if you'd like.
Thank you very much. And there's a motion and a second. Any further discussion? If not, we'll go to a vote. All in favor? 3-0. Motion approved. Thank you very much. So the next step is I will go to the full council, and then I don't see why. So it'll get reported out, and then we'll vote for the full council.
Okay, and you'll be in touch with me.
Yes. If not myself, then Karen will be as well. All right?
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Have a nice evening.
You as well. All right, next item on the agenda is order number 21-18271. It's the appointment of John Villard as principal assessor for a 3-year term from the date of council confirmation. John, if you want to come on up. Thank you very much for coming in today.
Thank you.
Your resume is pretty extensive, so if you don't mind just briefly highlighting some points of interest and explain a little bit about who you are and why the principal assessors here in Marlborough.
Okay. I would first like to, I just want to personally thank the mayor. I'd like to thank our finance director, Patrick Jones, our HR director, all the counselors for this opportunity. I appreciate it. So basically, on a personal level, I've been married to my wife Diane for 35 years. We have 3 boys, 3 young adults. And professionally, I came from a municipality for 10 years. I was with the city of Worcester. And I thought kind of learning or growing in a large city that way, you're exposed to a lot of different things. You see a lot of different scenarios and types of properties. And with that experience and background, I thought that this opportunity here would afford me, a chance to bring that to the city of Marlborough. I've also been a certified general appraiser for a little over 30 years. So with that background and experience, again, I'm just glad to be here, so.
Okay, excellent, thank you. I will open it up for questions from the Personnel Committee. Councilor Doucette.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. You've been, like you said before, you're working in Worcester as a senior commercial assessor and then the acting city assessor since
Correct.
2020. So when you start working here, you'll drop the Worcester and work here full-time, right?
Say that again, I'm sorry.
When you come here, you'll resign from the Worcester position to come work here, right? Just for clarification.
Yes, I'm already on board, if that's
Correct.
what you mean.
Yeah, right. Okay.
I actually started August 2nd.
Oh, right. I
the
remember the
city.
mayor saying something about that. My apologies with that. Yes.
So it's been, almost 60 days, almost 2 months I've been here, and
Okay.
just kind of, taking a look at things overall, seeing where we're at, where we need to be, and making some minor changes, and we're already heading in, I think, in a good direction. I was able to immediately hire a new senior clerk in our office, someone that has 12 years of experience, so again, we've been able to do several things already, so.
Good. Thank you.
Councilor Landers.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just a couple of quick comments. John, do you like us so far?
I do.
Yeah.
I like the challenge.
There are people here that like you, too. I think you're good. What I am impressed with, Mr. Chairman, is I like his skills and qualifications. It's very impressive. And also, your experience. I love the city of Worcester. I get the Worcester paper every day, and I've been reading it for years. But it's an interesting city, and you certainly have had a lot of different experiences out there. And that makes you, I think, a good candidate for here, and I know you do. I know you do great things here.
Well, thank you, I appreciate that. And when I first considered making the move to the city here, I had a good feeling and a good vibe about the city. It's on a smaller scale, if there's a comparison at all to the city of Worcester. Worcester has a good commercial industrial base, which I understand there was a need for someone to come in and truly understand that aspect of the city. And it was just time. Again, I spent 6 years in the city of 10 years, excuse me, the city of Worcester, and it was just time to hopefully apply that experience in the city here. So.
Yeah, I'd like to see you spend 10 years here, too.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.
So just curious, so you were the acting city assessor for 3 months, is that correct?
It was the beginning of the COVID.
Right.
It was
That
the
was
middle of January to roughly the end of April before we went through the process of hiring someone new. Of course, I was in the running or a candidate. I made it known up front that I wasn't sure at the time if I wanted to sit in that seat permanently.
Okay.
'Cause as you can imagine, being in a large city such as that, it's very challenging. COVID had just hit.
Right.
There were, plans and COVID plans that needed to be put in place. Staff was remote or staggered staff. So just on and on and on. It was just a very challenging time. And if anyone knows the assessing process, the beginning of the year, January on, you are extremely busy. Everything virtually happens. So all the various forms, all the deadlines, everything still needed to be done. And there were many, many days that I was in the office by myself. Wow. I have limited staff in the morning, and then I'd send them home, and then limited staff in the afternoon, and still try to function and get everything done. So it was truly a challenging time, and I think it opened my eyes to, that whole process. I was pleased and supportive when they had brought someone else on, which was fine.
Sure.
So,
Because then you went back as a senior commercial assessor.
yep, the principal
Perfect.
commercial assessor, which
okay.
I had been doing right along for roughly 10 years.
Yep, so we're televised, so just from your timeline, I just want to make sure that people at home and people are watching know, because it looked like if you didn't read the present, it looks like there was a big gap, but there isn't, because you just went back to doing your job. So you stepped up when you was needed, and then went back to your position when
That's
the position
correct.
was filled.
Yes,
Perfect,
absolutely.
perfect.
There was
No,
no lapse in time or
Right,
work.
nope, I just wanted to clarify that, just for everyone who's either watching or will watch this later. So is there any other further questions? I'll go to Councilor Irish and then to
Thank you,
Councilor-
Mr. Chair. Good evening, and certainly welcome to Marlborough. I mean, I think looking at your extensive resume, we're very happy to have you. And a few things that stood out, obviously, with the Appellate Tax Board. I think that's going to be a plus for the city. And having some of your experience in the appraisal of commercial and obviously the residential. We'll look forward to you during the tax classification hearings, and looking forward to building a relationship with the city council. So thank you for selecting the city of Marlborough. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that.
Councilor Ruby?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Welcome to Marlborough, Mr. Valade. Can you tell us a little, I know that there is an assessment every year or a reevaluation, but the state also requires cities and towns to have a more official reevaluation. When is Marlborough's due next? Is it coming up soon?
It's my understanding it's fiscal year 2024.
Okay, so we have a few
So-
years for you to be in the city and,
Yeah, so currently, there's a little bit of relief, if you want to call it that, the interim or in-between years. It'll give me some time to, really get a feel for where we're at again as an assessing department and what needs to be done, so.
all right.
But
And
2024.
I'm sorry, were you finished?
Yes, I am, thank you.
The fact that you were on the Appellate Tax Board was also interesting to me, and I know that we have in the past had some people who have some payment of their taxes issues, so looking at going in foreclosures and taking back property, hopefully you can work with the city in that line of
Some of the tax title properties, is that?
Yes.
Okay. Yep, we were just actually discussing that a little bit earlier before this evening, in the end of last week, to see where we're at with all of those. Things may be handled a little differently through the city of Marlborough, so I need to take a look at that. Not to compare, but in Worcester, very little was done on our side of this fence, so to speak. Mostly everything was handled by the collector's office. The only time we would get involved would be if there was an actual transfer from the property owner to the city in tax title. We would make sure the transfer of ownership was applied to our system for assessing purposes. But anything above that, I understand on the list of information that I reviewed, there's some of the low-value type properties. So that needs to be addressed and looked at. But I think that's mainly where we're at with that, and that's coming up. The typical or normal ATB cases, within the first week or two, I sat down and reviewed what was on file, what was outstanding. And we've already received quite a few of the fiscal 2021 filings at the ATB. So I looked at each and every one of those to just get a feel for what type of properties, where we're at. I already know most of the tax attorneys and tax agents that I've dealt with for the past 10 years, so I can, we're on a first-name basis. I can call them, and we can discuss things. The other day, I was on the phone with one of them to get a couple of cases continued or pushed out, because I think they were coming up for appeal this Thursday. So obviously, we weren't quite yet in a position to address those, so I had those postponed and continued. So things like that. I think we're at a point where everything is manageable. Certainly, my benchmark is I'm always comparing to Worcester. So Worcester, where everything was up here, City of Marlborough is a little more manageable from my viewpoint, in my opinion, which is kind of down here. So that was another reason why I considered coming to the city. So
That's good to hear. Yeah. Is there any other questions from anyone else? If not, I will entertain a motion.
Motion to approve?
And I will second that. Is there any further discussion? If not, all in favor? 3-0. Thank you very much. You're all set.